And so, one of the other things I was really struggling with these last few months is just my faith in general. Some things that happened that really kind of took my faith and shook it up a whole lot, to the point where, I was questioning everything I had ever been taught and, to believe and about God and about, religion and just, heaven and hell and all the things. And I just got to the point where I really just didn't even know what I believed anymore. Have you ever gotten to that point where you're just like, is any of this even real? Have I just been believing in this fairy tale my whole life? It was one of those things. And so it was just like, I just took some steps back and had to regroup and reevaluate and really start to focus on trying to figure out what it was I actually believed and what my faith was going to look like going forward. Because, when you've been raised your whole life to believe a certain way and you believe certain things, and then all of a sudden something comes along and questions that. And so, like I was saying, things come along and they question that, it's like you really have to kind of put your blinders back on and you have to say, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do from here? So what I did is I just kind of went to some people, I have a handful of people in my life that I know and I like and I trust a whole lot with going to them with things like this, and that I know that I can get their non-judgmental opinions, and they're not gonna, and they're gonna tell me what they think, and then I can take all that information and just kind of process through it and work through it and figure things out on my own. And that's been kind of really what I've been working on these last few months, is just kind of working through this process and trying to figure out, what my faith actually is, what it looks like, what it's going to look like going forward, and just really trying to get a grip on, what I need to do as far as faith. And what I came to the conclusion was I can't just walk away from my faith. How you overcame your struggles, what steps did you take? Did you do anything special to overcome those? Because it's been something that's been really difficult and actually painful for me to kind of go through this whole process of rediscovering my faith again. Because after being, like I said, I've been a Christian since I was 21 years old. I'm now almost 50 next year, and I was raised in a Christian home, so it's been in my life, my entire life. And so when you come to that point where you're not really sure what you believe anymore, it can be pretty traumatic. So let me know if you guys have any thoughts or any questions, or you want to talk about it.